Quick video here by request by Isaac. He wanted to know about finding the mean from grouped data. So here's the problem I got. This is from a Cambridge test. I'm assuming it's probably a paper 4 because you're allowed to use a calculator. We're just going to do the first 3 problems right here, A, B, and C. And that would be worth a total of 7 points, which is actually pretty significant considering what you usually need to pass the whole test. So this is a lot of points up for grabs that are pretty easy. So first one says write down the modal interval. So the modal interval is the class, or the interval over here, the class that has the greatest frequency, just like mode. So that would be 50, but that's not the interval. The interval is 1.5 less than x is less than or equal to 2. So that's only 1 point, really easy. Second one, calculate the mean. Alright, that's worth 4 points. That's a huge chunk. Normally on a Cambridge exam they give you room to show your work. Don't have a lot here, but so I'll try to show it I guess on the top. Okay, the way you find the mean is, well, it's only an estimation because like these 8 people turn out that they drink between 0 and a half of a liter. But you don't know where those 8 people lie, so you have to make an assumption that it's in the middle of this interval, which would be 0.25, and you have 8 of them, right? And then, so, like, you don't know where these 27 people are here. You don't know if they're really close to a half or if they're closer to 1. So again, for each of these intervals, you assume that the average of these people is in the middle. So let's see, that would be 0.75 times 27. Sorry for my sloppy handwriting. And then here, this would be 1.25 times 45. And what you do is, you multiply all of these frequencies times the midpoint of the class width, or the middle of the interval, and you add them all. You add up all of that, and then you divide by the number of people, which was 200. So very similar to finding the mean. The mean is the total sum of the sum of all the data divided by the number of entrants, and that's how you do this. So let's see here. Plus 1.75 times 50 for this one. 2.25 times 39. Oh, and I'm running out of room. Plus 2.75 times 21. 3.25 times 7, and plus 3.75 times 3. You add all that up, and the whole thing, all of it, divided by, in this case, 200, because there are 200 people. So my work is really sloppy, and I apologize for that. But here's what you do to calculate the mean, to calculate the mean, or it's the estimate of the mean. You take the midpoint of each of these intervals and you multiply that by the frequency. You do that for each category, then you add them all up and divide it by the total number of entrants, which was 200. So when you do all that work, you get, on your calculator, you should get something around 1.7275, something like that. And usually they give you a range of answers, but that's how it works. So I would go ahead and try that on my own if I were you. And let's see, let's go ahead and do part C. Part C says make a cumulative frequency table for this data. So normally I draw another column over here, but I run out of room. So I'm going to do one right here. I'm going to call this cumulative frequency. So that's just like a running total. So at first it goes from 0 to 8. Then we add 27 to that, so that'd be 35. And then we add those together, it'd be 80. And then this is 130. And then these two makes 169. And then 190. And then 197. And then 200. So that's the cumulative frequency. So the rest of this problem, they ask you to make a cumulative frequency graph. Those usually look something like this. We'll do that in another video, but this y-axis is cumulative frequency, which are these, and the x-axis would be liters of water. So anyway, in quick review of the whole purpose of this video, which was to calculate the estimate of the mean, take the midpoint of each class, because that's like the average of the class width, and you multiply it by its frequency, and you do that for each class, and then you add up all of those and divide by the total number of entries, which was in this case 200. So hope that helped.